Really aggressive, really aggressive, really aggressive.
Where are people getting this K2?
This is why I train in martial arts.
Where them kicks at? Where them hands? Where them holes? Where them throws? You know what I'm saying? Cecil.
Now, whenever I speak out against marijuana, in particular the synthetic marijuana or the dangerous mutant crossbreed hybrids of marijuana, hybrids. That's what I was going to say. That's a Freudian pun. Am I saying I hate people who smoke marijuana? Or am I saying that every time you see somebody who smokes marijuana, you're supposed to bust them in their face? You know what I'm saying? No. What I'm saying is there are forms of marijuana that are dangerous. It's going to make the people who are on them dangerous. And you need to train in martial arts so that you can protect yourself against people who are high and can't control themselves. Or if you end up getting a whiff of that stuff and losing your mind, hopefully you can fight your way back to training to sanity with your training and your indomitable spirit.
Fox 5 first to tell you about a potentially lethal batch of synthetic marijuana going around D.C.
Firefighters have been flooded with calls this week about people overdosing on K2 or spice.
Oh, and just so you know, this is fair use. It's for the purposes of education and commentary. So don't trip out.
Linked at least 4 deaths to the synthetic drug.
Fox 5's Lindsay Watts broke the story. She is live from Northwest with more. Lindsay.
Sean and Jim, we're here at 3rd and D just to set the scene. DC Police
headquarters is right down the block, and then about 2 blocks this way is a homeless shelter.
This has been a big area for overdoses, and we have seen the effects of this synthetic marijuana ourselves. People walking around like zombies. 30 minutes ago, 4 people were treated just down the street, and this is not far from where a man was found dead early this morning.
So she said people are walking around like zombies. You think that they could be being aggressive like zombies? Or does she mean they're just walking around in a daze? Even if they're not being aggressive, they could be walking around in a daze and accidentally bump into you and knock you in oncoming traffic. So it might be good to know how to do a spiral or something to get around them in case they're so high they can't even see you who are right in front of them.
Let's show you some video now. This was from a little earlier tonight, about a block away from where we are. We watched as first responders tried to revive a man who was barely moving. DC Fire says 140 people have gotten sick from K2, and that's just since Saturday. And that does not even count all of the cases from tonight. Take a look at this now. We'll show you the scene on the corner of 3rd and E Streets. This was around 5 this afternoon. A woman who works nearby got the video. A firefighter who responded to this says it looked like Night of the Living Dead. 11 people sick. Several of them had to be hospitalized. That firefighter says it was the worst K2 overdoses that he has seen this week. I touched base with him again tonight. He says the calls have just kept coming one after another, especially today. We also have some photos from 2 days ago. A source took these on Good Hope Road in Southeast. People were passed out, foaming at the mouth. Just awful to see this. Firefighters say heat and dehydration make people more susceptible to overdose.
Did you see how that young man was twitching that they were trying to help? That was terrible. Now, before some of you think, oh, he's just trying to make black people look bad. Black people are not the only people in the world that smoke marijuana. And a lot of times what starts off in the fringes of society, like it's starting off in the homeless population right now, then it might creep into the working class population of whatever races, then it might creep into the middle class of whatever races and become sort of kind of mainstreamish, kind of like this opioid epidemic that's going around that's affecting, people of the majority. This is how it starts. It starts on the fringes and it just spreads out like a virus.
If you're not familiar with K2, it's known as synthetic marijuana, but it's not marijuana. This is man-made, it's chemicals, and as we're seeing here, it can be poison. It's also very inexpensive, and it's the homeless population in D.C. that has been impacted the most. Here's D.C. Fire Chief Gregory Dean on the symptoms.
So I want you to listen for that word aggressive. So it's not just Cecil saying that the stuff makes you dangerous and aggressive. Someone who is, quote unquote, qualified is going to tell you the same thing.
You'll see people that are unconscious, people that are vomiting, people that are collapsing. all those things, or maybe being overly aggressive. Those are signs that they may be impacted or under the influence. Anytime you have an increase, it has an impact. And so we, the city agencies, are working collaboratively together to address this impact.
Just a little while ago, we saw a homeless advocate handing out these flyers that were created by multiple agencies in D.C. It's an emergency alert, just warning people about what's going on. A question is, where are people getting this K2? It is illegal in the district. A police source says there are some shops suspected of selling it from behind the counter. He says right now this really seems to be something that is circulating within the homeless population. We're live tonight in Northwest. Lindsay Watts, Fox 5 Local News.
So what are you going to do? People want to smoke K2? Tell them not to smoke K2. Tell them not to smoke anything because you don't know what's in it unless you actually grew it yourself. And you know, they even have marijuana in D.C. that people can get legally. But what do? They still want to run out and get the synthetic stuff, just like I knew that they would. I knew they would do that. I knew that if you legalize marijuana, people would say, well, that's not any fun anymore. Let's go get this thing that could practically kill us because it's even better than the stuff that's legal now. When I got older, I knew they would do that because my opinion of human nature has become more realistic. When I was young, I was much more idealistic. But now I know that people are going to do things for the thrill of breaking the law, in addition to the thrill of being, high. So if you want to be able to protect yourself against people who are acting overly aggressive because they've been exposed to it, let's just say I've seen instances where people have been exposed to it, weren't even smoking it, but somebody around them smoked it and it made them act crazy and aggressive. And what techniques can you use in those situations? This is a martial arts channel. If your Newaza game is good and it's just one person, I would recommend taking them to the ground and holding them in the ground, but you got to modify the pin so that they can't bite you. Hold them into the ground until help can arrive. But then again, I'm huge, so I can do that to somebody that's out of their mind. If you're not that big, maybe not so much, maybe you might want to rely on some blocking and redirection techniques. You may want to sweep the person to the ground, but not ippon throw them, and just keep putting them on the ground until they tire out and keep dodging and parrying until they tire out. And then after they're tired, you may want to use some type of restraint technique until help can arrive. But the point is, you need to hold them or tucker them out until help can arrive because they're out of their mind because the legal marijuana is not good enough. They want to go get this stuff that's laced with bad plants that show up in nature or stuff that's synthetic altogether. So, do I hate you because you smoke marijuana? No. But that doesn't mean I'm going to sit up here and act like I'm not supposed to say anything because it's literally killing people. And any martial artists out there who might be tempted to smoke this stuff, it's not going to make your performance better. It's not going to help you find any new insights because I remember people using that excuse when I was in the music world. All it's going to do is drive you out your mind or kill you. Oh, and one more thing. If you're good with Kyushu Jitsu, I want you to list some points below that you think would be effective. I can't remember everything I've been told. I've read it in an ebook too about what points are good for people who are under the influence. What I remember is correctly, you probably should go for leg points because the leg should be weaker. I think it's pulling their energy up high up here. From practical experience, there was one of the few fights I had was against somebody who was on something. And I got pulled to the ground. I let him do that, actually, believe it or not. And the back of the leg right above the ankle was very vulnerable. And I said another video, I did the opening move of June Goon and got him to go up. But I think that triple yin point on the inside of the lower leg would probably be a good place to hit too, if you've got the accuracy for it. And I firmly believe in stomach 5 because if the stomach is upset because of what they're ingesting, I would assume that the stomach meridian could be weaker, but I could be wrong.